GangsterBet is Icon's next generation NFT collectibles of 5,555 gangsters and detectives, with changeable names and stats. Holders of GangsterBet NFTs receive daily distributions of GBet tokens. GBet can be used to upgrade their NFT skills and stats. The supply of GBet will decrease over time and will stop after 9 years. Holding GangsterBet NFTs will have opportunities for future airdrops and will give you access to GangsterBet's highly anticipated metaverse. Learn more at gangsterbet.io. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Eye on Icon, the episode where we go around the ecosystem and get you the latest news. And with me, Digital Dave, how are you today?
Hey Fez, thanks for having me on today. I've been good. How have you been?
Yeah, good man, good. It's gotten to be a late day. It's what time is it? Quite late in the evening, and it's been a big day, but uh keen to get the news out because we missed it last week. So I'm sure everyone's hanging on the edge of their seats going, "Where's the news? We don't know what's going on." So let's
No.
let's dish it to them. Um, okay, first things first, let's jump into markets. Overall, David, I know I'm going to ask you, what's the vibe been on Twitter last week?
It has been exceptionally salty. Um, People have not been the best versions of themselves, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm only guessing that the market's dumped.
Yeah, yeah, it did. It did. You're spot on. It dumped and slight recovery, although, look, based on TA, what do we got? On ICX, we've got this bottom here, which it looks, let's just say, double bottomed. I always thought that was a bullish, but every second person you see can say something. Overall, went a downtrend. Terrible. Um, I don't like that it's fallen on the boiler brands resistance. Anyway, let's see what happens. But yes, terrible, terrible. But there's been a bit of a recovery. Although I did ask Bearish Bull in the chats what he was thinking. He was very positive. He was very adamant that BTC would hold that 37 based on the TA and how in depth he goes into things. So he was confident that there was strong support around 37K. And let's see what happened. Yep, if you look at it, he was bang on. We hit that 37K mark and have bounced, but overall haven't bounced the way I would want us to keep going a little stronger. But yeah, um, yeah. So markets not the best. Let's hope it recovers, but plenty of news to talk through now. So first things first. Well, let's kick things off with the poker tournament. Excited about this one, David?
I'm very excited for all my internet friends who know how to play poker and who are attending. I think it looks great. I think there's some decent prizes to win, and I think the guest list is smashing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, look, it's quite the guest list. Actually, thank you, Ben. He reached out last minute. Even though it is, I think it's 6 a.m. for me. But he reached out to see if the timing was okay, and he really wanted me there to commentate. So yeah, I'll be there commentating, um, and pretending I
Have you
know a
done that?
bit.
Have you done that before? Commentating on a poker tournament?
No, no. I'm pretty sure when people are close to getting to 21, that's when I gotta yell
Indeed,
and get
indeed.
excited. So
That's
um,
when you panic.
is it? Is it when you panic, not get
Correct.
excited? Okay, okay. Hit me. I want more cards just in case. Yeah. This is really cool though. Community. Let's hope everyone turns up and takes part and has a good time. I know I was talking to Skyfi from 16-Bit Fight Club, and I was like, "Oh, what time is it on?" Because obviously he's in Australia here in Melbourne, and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, it's at 6 a.m." And he's going to be at the gym getting ready to train people and at the same time playing poker. We're dedicated. Dedicated iconists. Um, yeah, so that's a bit of, in case you didn't know, make sure tune in. Just community fun, but it's so well organized. Next up, FOMO. He dropped this beautiful thread. David,
Indeed.
the
Yeah.
thread master. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about this one?
It's a work of art. FOMO talks about the interoperability solution that Polkadot is building
Mm.
and is kind of launching. And it's basically the communications of parachains amongst each other. They have been able to kind of communicate with each other in this Polkadot ecosystem before.
Mm.
See, they all kind of connect into the relay chain, at least in theory. And these parachains can basically work and establish use cases that would flow across these different chains. Kind
Mm.
of what Icon wants to be doing on a large scale with BTP, but here it's all for parachains within the Polkadot ecosystem.
Mm.
And the tech that is needed to make this all happen has been launched, has it?
Isn't it launching? Like that's what all the celebrations is about.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
thought that was
yeah,
yesterday
yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah. So quite. Uh, so if I was to condense this, basically their interoperability tech to talk between their chains, which what all the parachains is about, is this X. What's it called? X.
XCMP.
Yeah, XCMP has launched, and it's great. And this is how it adds value to. That's basically why their
Yeah,
ecosystem exists.
yeah.
But it's great to put. Well, how does BTP play a part? It's like, well, if they're doing this, well, what the hell, BTP? We're screwed. No, we're not, because BTP is taking that concept and basically allowing anyone not in the dot ecosystem or getting security from the relay chain, which is dot, to be interoperable literally to that in extent. So it's like kind of merging the outside ecosystem with the inside ecosystem of the dot chains. Something like that, David?
Something like that, indeed. If you
Excellent.
look at the first tweet, he mentions XCM
Yeah.
and XCMP. Now, XCM is the language. The XCMP is the actual communication
Mm.
uh, protocol or software.
Yeah.
Now, I looked like a right idiot a couple of weeks ago. I was sitting at the Moonbeam conference in Amsterdam together with Paul, the Blobble World developer, and the Moonbeam developers were happily chatting about how this launch was up and coming, and they were
Mm.
all waiting for it because, for those who don't know, Moonbeam is a parachain in the Polkadot ecosystem. They are actually also integrating BTP,
Mm.
and they push themselves forward as an EVM compatible parachain. So if you have apps or other protocols built on Ethereum in the Solidity language, you can very easily kind of like copy paste these into the Polkadot ecosystem by running them on Moonbeam.
Mm.
So we're at this conference, and they're telling us all about what they're doing and how it works, and we're getting the rundown on Polkadot. And I'm just nodding the whole way through because I think I understand everything. And then at the end, they ask anyone any questions. So I put up my hand, and my question is something about the XCMP, interoperability communications. And I didn't know that XCM and XCMP weren't the same thing. So I'm kind of addressing these as one and the same and asking like a semi-intellectual question, thinking the whole room is going to stand up and applaud at my at my wit. But no, all I got was weird looks and kind of like a sit-down child explanation about how XCM is the language and XCMP is the actual uh, protocol. I'm still not 100% sure if I got that right. Therefore, I'm not going back to that conference anytime soon. But yeah, a real world touch off of this,
Yeah.
and yeah, with regards to to BTP being in the mix, he mentions it here with ICE Network. See, that's what ICE will be doing,
Mm. Mm.
right?
Yeah. Exactly. And look, overall though, I don't know if people are starting to notice, but like I've seen FOMO has put through a couple of rounds of CPS proposals. His requests for things have been a little bit different. Like one of them was writing a paper, a well-researched paper by someone in the field technically around BTP, rather than it's just coming from, the foundation or things like that, which was cool to see. And this time, I noticed Java again. Oh God, I was so happy to see that tweet. I'm going to find it and retweet it and give it more love. But he does what he does amazingly, wakes up in the morning, puts in a solid 20 hours of reading, scribing through all the documents, and he's found FOMO's CPS proposal about the Unity piece of work to create the SDK for the Icon blockchain. And he's tweeted about it and given this excellent breakdown. And what I love about it is he's decided CPS has approved it, and it's on its way. But what a great find! What a great highlight! And it again highlights the passion and passionate community member who is taking the time and involved in the ecosystem. But these are the kind of things that are going to make Icon more appealing, right? So right now,
Yeah.
um, if without this, like I've had a couple of conversations. I remember one day I was talking to Brian, and he actually mentioned something about Unity. It didn't click in my head. I'm not tech savvy, but now when I see this and I'm starting to piece together, it's like, oh crap! If I was a wandering dev who had the skill set, wanted to build a game, and walked up and we didn't have these SDKs or the support, they would just walk past and go, well, what's the point? But when we have these foundational pieces set up, all of a sudden we become more attractive. So some really cool CPS proposals
It's
coming
true.
through. Yeah.
We had one of our community members. I saw a tweet. He said, "Hey, did you know that I'm actually a Unity dev?"
Yes.
And it never clicked in his mind to actually contribute to Icon, even though he's a community member. And now he's like, "Oh, wait a second. If that's here, I can actually put my skills to use and
Mm.
contribute to this." So I was reading that. I thought, yes, that's good.
Yes, and you know what? Thank you, Java. Again, it's just, ah, good work. Okay, look, let's keep moving. But yes, overall, my point about FOMO, so we're seeing quality. I know he spun up a node as well. I have had detailed conversations with him. The main piece around him spinning up a node is to to get incentives and go for more CPS funding to do projects like this that in the end bring more value to Icon as an ecosystem. So and this is the kind of stuff we want to be rewarding. So I always come back to our votes matter. Like we need to be looking at these kind of P reps who are proactively trying to build use cases that attract more people to come and build, and this is what we need. So
Do you
thank you,
know the
FOMO.
name of his node? Can we vote? Can we
I'm
vote FOMO?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called FOMO. So search for FOMO and you'll see it. He's sticking to the brand, so it's easy to find and get in there. Um, cool. Let's keep
Cool.
moving. Good work, FOMO.
We should
Oh,
take him to a Moonbeam conference. He can ask the questions.
tag him in. Now's your time to shine. Yep, consider it done. Okay, so David, I'm going to let you talk to this. So we had this excellent article drop.
Yeah, this is a blog post dropped yesterday, I think, on the Ice Network website in their blog section,
Mhm.
and it's a blog kind of elaborating on the use cases that I just kind of mentioned. That if you scroll up a wee bit on your screen, the use cases that Ice as a parachain is going to offer to both BTP partner blockchains and Polkadot ecosystem parachains. So
Mm.
what it's showing is that ICE plugging in as a parachain being optimized for BTP integration is going to act like a portal between use cases that are happening within the Polkadot ecosystem and big external blockchains that aren't in the Polkadot ecosystem. So as it stands, if you are parachain A, you can basically be a part of the Polkadot ecosystem and have several use cases touch off of your blockchain. Let's say you're a DeFi-oriented parachain blockchain. You can have the DeFi happen on your own parachain, but if you want to be like doing decentralized ID or checking in on people's credentials, you might want to tap into another parachain that's optimized to do exactly that. And
Mm.
this way, that whole Polkadot ecosystem is going to have like all these use cases hopping parachains. But what if my use case is centered around the Polkadot ecosystem, but I would want to touch off of Binance Smart Chain as well?
Mm.
Now, I can have my developers come in, build a custom connection, which would take them forever, would probably not be decentralized, to be able to then touch off of Binance Smart Chain. Or I knock on the ICE parachain door and I say, hey, um, could you please portal me through
Mm.
BTP to Binance Smart Chain
Yeah.
with my use case? And that's kind of what this article talks about. I think the examples mentioned at the end are Akala, who is that's a DeFi platform right there. Yeah, so I would advise everyone to give this a read. It's I think it's a 5-minute read,
Yeah.
and the visual at the top actually does a good job in positioning ICE parachain. Like if you haven't understood yet, what is it? How is it going to add value to both the Icon network and the Polkadot network? Then this image kind of tells you, look, this is how it's positioned in the middle, connecting these two behemoths.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. And you know what? Like, this is a good visual because you can think if there's Moonbeam up here, uh, and it has BTP, but that's cool. That's good. It just means that all of a sudden they also have a direct connection, and so does ICE, and amongst all of them, it just keeps adding more value. So look, I know a lot of time got spent. This is like you can just like scrolling through it. Look at all these graphs. Yeah, a lot of use cases and things like that. Definitely one to read. Thank you for that overview, David. Let's keep moving on. Ice air no balance. What am I saying? Balanced, 1 year old. Has it been a year? Wow. Okay. Um,
It has, yes, I think so.
Yep. So some stats that blew in 50 hours. We had 10 million. Yeah. Okay. You can read through. Happy birthday, Balanced. And
Happy birthday.
yeah, if you hadn't noticed, one thing I did love coming on here, I've got a wallet connected, and you can see they've implemented this, which is cool. Finally, we have a normal style thing that I can draw my terrible trend line. So just because Bearish Bull loves this, this is looking good.
That's
About
a good line.
Yeah, that is. Thank you. So if you wanted to look at charts like you did on TradingView, you can see all the pairs that are there. You can now, and it will actually give you proper data, and you can change all your hours. Ooh, up here. 2 day. No one looks at a 2 day chart. Let's look at a 1 day chart. Cool. So if you haven't already, get in there and have a play, and you can just click out of it. But great, a lot of new features coming. Too balanced. And on that note, I think the next one was Java smart contracts have been completed. So balanced smart contracts have now been completely translated to Java, and they're doing reviews and integration testing for anything that remains, and it should be deployed to mainnet in the next few weeks. So that's exciting. Exciting.
Yeah, yeah. It's oh, I'd be so happy when it's here. Like I just, you know how it's taking forever. Let's be honest. This is just dragging on, and my goodness, am I done with waiting? I'm I'm a grown up, so I'll wait, and I'll behave. So I'm sitting here waiting, but my goodness, I'm gonna be so happy when it's here. Just the pace of development, like if you think about it, the bonded, like, so balance is 1 year old. I think that vote where we said yes, we'll have bonded
Mhm.
balanced, like that vote must be like 8 months old.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were all like, yeah, let's do it, yeah. And great voting attendance as always on the balanced platform. Like it's crazy, it's like 80+%
Mhm.
of all holders get involved in the voting. It's really good.
Yeah.
We all said, yeah, let's do it. Okay. But, I didn't know that it was going to take 8 months. And now I'm just, yeah, I cannot wait. Like it's time.
Yeah, look, and some stuff to keep in mind as well. Like those votes take place, and then the dev process kicks off, right? So
Yeah.
there's that, but now the added layer is because everything was in Python before, and now all of a sudden the scores are in a different language, and the team's trying to redo everything. So look. I agree. It's been a while, but I think once this happens, then again, as Scott has said, we should start to see things start happening a lot quicker. But this is I think for them it's like how Icon went from Icon 1.0 to Icon 2.0. Yeah, so a lot of these dApps are doing their own migration events, which involves a lot of rewriting, and then they're
Right.
going through the entire audit processes again because the new contracts, getting written
Yeah,
in that
new
new language.
language,
So
new audits.
yeah. But overall, we're almost there. And yes, I think I've got boosted. I'm across a little bit. I've been doing a lot of research, nagging Scott a lot. So uh, I may do a quick run through of the boosted model soon. But next up, Ohm. So now the Monks Academy, they did this session on understanding stablecoins. Again, a lot of quality content on that channel. I'm not going to really run through, but they'll soon do a deep dive. I was talking to Arash and Steve, and they will do a deep dive on the boosted Ohm model. So stay tuned for that as well. But if you aren't subscribing, you should be subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you're not, or subscribing to their Twitter, you should be, because they drop a lot of quality threads, and they have a ton of competitions going where they're giving Ohm and ICX and all kinds of NFTs. So make sure you tune in. Ah, there you go. Boosted Ohm. How confident do you feel to talk to the model?
The model of
Boosting.
the mechanics of
Yeah.
boosted ohm, you say?
Yeah.
Well, I feel as confident as a guy who logged into Ohm testnet earlier today to have a go at this boosted Ohm and then couldn't figure out where to click and what to do. So I ended up looking at these 3 or 4 different tabs that they have, feeling not very intelligent, and I gave up. So
Yeah.
I was hoping we weren't going to talk about this. So now I've had to admit this as well. It's not looking great for me.
Data.
So
All good.
I could tell you what boosted ohm kind of aims to do.
Ah.
They're in like high level. Their boosted ohm gets users to lock away their ohm for set periods of time, taking ohm out of like circulation, out of open market circulation,
Mm-hmm.
and in exchange, users get rewarded for doing this. Now, what it does is it 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 connects the more dedicated Ohm users to the platform and gives them the rewards,
Yeah.
as opposed to just people passing by with lots of capital who then hop in, grab the rewards, and then buzz off again. Did I do a good job?
Yeah, that is a super, yeah, yeah. So, look, to give a bit more detail around this, and it can get confusing. So, and I was hoping to do a few charts and this and that, but I literally have just formulated a very easy way of explaining this. So, like in my head, when I started thinking boosted models, especially if you aren't across the boosted, the curve wars and all that stuff, it just hasn't made sense to you. And I'll put my hand up. Until recently I just didn't really bother with it, but with a lot of stuff kicking off in Terra around this as well, I've been slowly learning, because I'm in a few protocols there that have just kicked it off, and obviously balance and ohms time is coming, so it's like perfect time to keep growing my knowledge around it. But put simply, your traditional tokenomics emissions, they disperse. The tokens are dispersed to LP pools, say staking rewards, all that stuff, right? The bonded model kind of remove takes this away and rewards people based on the amount of ohm they actually lock up, stake, and how long they lock it up. So, uh, in this case, let's talk ohm, and they've given a quick overview. You can lock it up for 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 4 years. And what you can see is per ohm, you get a token in return that you cannot trade. It doesn't work that way, but it's kind of like it's called boosted ohm. And if you do four, you get the maximum bonus off it. Now, this is a token that as time goes on keeps depreciating. So, and why is it important? Is because the more B ohm you have, the more you can boost your yield. And what I mean by that, when I talked about emissions, remember how I mentioned emissions go to the liquidity pools, etc., etc.? This is still the case, but the way it will work is the more ohm, it's all dependent on how much ohm you've locked away and for how long. How much boosted ohm you hold is what will give you your multiplier. So you can see over here, and it says those boosted ohms have, and it also has voting power. So it gives you a multiplier for uh, staking rewards, because obviously you're getting staking rewards, and then in the wherever you're getting the emissions, so the liquidity pools and things like that. So if I were to make this simpler, the concept is simple. You get B ohm for 4 years, and what happens is, say after 2 years, your B ohm will half. But the concept of this tokenomics is you want to keep holding and staking as much ohm as you can for as long as you can, so that you are getting the maximum yield. But then what starts to happen is everyone's trying to do this. So there's constant buying pressure, or people are trying to acquire more ohm. And protocols actually are built around this concept. So on Ethereum, we have convex, and its pure goal is to acquire as much curve as it can, because just like I explained with ohm, the more curve slash ohm I can get a hold of and lock away for 4 years, the more chances I have of acquiring a larger share of the boost. And that is the goal, which if I have more boost, I have more governance power, I have more emissions of the token, I get more rewards from it. So protocols are built on top. And this is the beautiful part of what happens here is protocols then come out and they acquire that to pass that on. So they kind of go, say David here only has 1,000 ohm tokens, right? Um, if he locks it up for 4 years, yeah, he's going to get a boost, but the maximum boost he would get for 1,000 ohm tokens versus another person who has 100,000 and locks it up for 4 years, because they have a larger stake, their multiplier is going to be much higher. Well, poor David, he's kind of screwed. But it the beautiful thing about it is it creates a world of opportunity. Now, a protocol comes along and tells David, "Hey, don't worry, you don't need to buy. Give us your ohm, and we will bunch it together with another 1,000 users' ohm and capture more of the boosting rewards and share those rewards at the high percentage with you." Do you see here the opportunity it creates? So um, that's I've taken it a step further, but I'll bring it back
Yeah.
down to the boosting. Uh, what's great about it is because the bonded ohm deteriorates over time, even if the protocols are earning a lot of rewards, so someone who's earning a lot of rewards because they've boosted it for 4 years and every day they're earning substantial amount of ohm, for that boost to stay consistent, their goal is to get those rewards and relock those rewards up for 4 years. Otherwise, if they decide to sell a large chunk of their rewards and there's someone in the background who's actually hoarding and keeps restaking, they'll overtake and start getting the maximum yield. So it creates this constant battle to acquire these tokens to ensure that they can keep having the max boosting, which is the emissions, let's say. It's not extra emissions or anything like that, just to be clear. It's still following the same percentages and whatnot. It's just it's the fight of who holds more, gets more off what emissions are left. Um, David, did I ramble or do a slightly okay job?
I think you did a very okay job in
Very.
highlighting that the introduction of bonded isn't just good for holders and like icon community members for the reward system, but it also allows third-party
Mm-hmm.
software developers, dApp developers, to look at this new mechanism and build on top of OM.
Yeah.
So on top or around, um, giving OM in turn more value once again. It's definitely one of the big DeFi pillars in the Icon ecosystem, isn't it?
Yeah, look, totally. And for Icon, Ohm especially is unique because these multipliers are for your uh, obviously when you stake it, it impacts your LP pools, and on top your governance, which is also, remember, Ohm controls your staked ICX. So the more supply you control and have, and you keep locking up, the more voter delegation goes through to your nodes. And yeah, so it's all intertwined, and it plays a big part. So look, validators should be paying attention. Like, this is what's happening. Here's a chance to get ahead, to secure rewards to your validators, votes to your validators, etc. But we'll stop it there. Um, Anything else you want to add there, David?
No, that's fine.
No.
Let's move.
Cool. Lastly, they did, the blog post is great. There's on the blog post, if you follow the links, you can hook yourself up to testnet. And if you're using HANA, it is so easy now. You literally switch on to testnets and off you go. And you can experiment with it and how it works. The biggest call out I have on this is the way the boosted lockups work. You can lock up, 1 month, 2 months, and you can play with it on testnet, and it shows you basically how much extra ohm you learn. But the call out here is, if you decide to do a 1 month lockup, great. But if you adjust and then you go 6 months, the entire stash gets locked up for 6 months. So you don't
Mhm.
see, you can't delegate 1,000 ohm to 4 years, 1,000 ohm to 2 years on that wallet. The one
Yeah.
wallet, it's if you go 4 years, you cannot then drop it. You have to keep locking for 4 years again and again. Um,
Luckily, it's easy in HANA to make 20 wallets within 20 seconds.
Luckily. Cool.
Talking about news of the week, HANA has actually put out this post asking people to sign up to become beta testers of their new HANA interface. So they're giving the HANA wallet app, as good as it already is, an overhaul. I have no clue what that would look like, but there it is right there. You
Yeah.
can put your name in through a Google form. I've done this, I think now exactly 24 hours ago. I haven't heard anything yet. So very curious to
Come on, Reliant Node. We know you listen to
yeah,
podcasts every day.
they do. And select me, please. I just want to know what it is going to look like. I must say, with HANA, the only thing that I would change indeed is the way that you add other tokens. It's a bit counterintuitive the way you have to um, open up your wallet and then click the menu button and then manage tokens, I think.
Yeah, and
But
add it. There's too many layers to get there, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it off the top of my head, but I can't even remember. So
Mm.
that's how bad it is, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, look, this one snuck past me. Last one I remember they did. I signed up. I got to use it. It was great. I even gave feedback. This one I didn't even see it until you mentioned it to me the other day. So good call out. If you haven't already, jump in there. Um,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, Wonderland. What's going on here? They're doing something. They're always doing something. So, but I guess this is one of the NFTs. Good to see. We know.
Well, I could tell you what they're doing. They've announced their pre-sale and public sale.
That's right. That's right.
Look, Wonderland is on the edge of innovation here. They are actually, it looks like they're going to be the very first real world use case that is going to use Icon Bridge. It's going to be possible to mint NFTs on the Icon blockchain. These are Wonder Game NFTs because I'd like to slip in there that
Name change.
Wonderland did a sneaky rebrand. They waited for me to drop a thread on them and their game, only to rebrand their name, 20 minutes afterwards, which was a bummer. But they're now called Wonder.game or Wonder Game, which possibly, if you think about it, for a cross blockchain strategy, is a good change. Like it's a bit shorter. It's not tied to any blockchain. It can go all over the place. And there's other Wonderland platforms out there. I know when I Google Wonderland and I want to get to the game, I end up in some sort of DeFi protocol and I'm lost. So I think this is smart. But back to the minting of their NFTs, they've announced their pre-sale on the 14th of May and their public sale on the 16th of May. What we'll be able to do is buy or mint NFTs on the Icon blockchain and pay with ICX, and they will then drop your NFT into a wallet that you've given to them on the Harmony blockchain.
Hmm.
So we're going cross chain. Icon Bridge is the infrastructure that they will be using. And if you are whitelisted, that is in 9 days' time. So that's Wonder Game for you.
Yes. Look, awesome. And this is what I mean. Like we're looking at this picture, it's like they always have news. Like this is the biggest news. And I know. Everyone's like Icon Bridge, Icon Bridge, Icon Bridge. But to put some context, remember, like they have announced earlier that Icon Bridge will launch, and then some audits are going to take place. And naturally, everyone's not going to be moving a ton of money across a bridge that hasn't finished all its formal audits. But this case is different because this is actually using the messaging generic messaging feature, and there's no assets being moved, so it's less risky, and it's actually been a real world use case, not just token transfer, and it sits on the other chain and it can't do anything because it hasn't been added to pools or protocols haven't adopted it yet. Because remember, when the bridge launches, that's one part. The second part is, which is what the incentive program is there to do, but it would make no sense to incentivize anything until audits and stuff are done. But once all that's done, then the incentive programs say on PancakeSwap and stuff, which is the reason why you'd move your assets onto Binance Smart Chain and put it in the liquidity pool so you earn some extra APR and you're yield farming, right? So a lot of pieces have to fall in place, but here's a great example of it doesn't require any of that. It's just enabled an entire community icon to partake in something that's launching in Harmony. And hopefully, using this tech, you can start to see, well, what's stopping if DeFi Kingdoms or a few others want to do some other sales, or they're building a new product to go, hey, wait, this is already connected. This already exists. We can tap into an entire user base because this generic message feature enable a team's already done it, and we'll use the same tech. Boom. So this is I don't think people are too zoned in on when Icon Bridge launch, and it's like, well, it's you you do realize it's launching, because if this sale's happening on the 14th of May, and it's using this functionality is live, well, what do you think it's using? It's using the bridge tech, right? And even better, because it's a working example. Like we
Yeah.
could literally then write about and talk about and go to people and go, did you see this? This was used in this way to mint NFTs, cross chain, etc. Got a bit excited there, David.
Brilliant. Wonder Game.
Wonder game. Now let's David, let's do a 5 minutes of power through the rest of the news. Uh, what have we got here? Okay, so Lucas from Craft. I still haven't had Craft on the show. Can you believe it? Got to get them on. Um, Preparing something that allows anyone to deploy an NFT collection plus pre-sale plus UI on Icon with no technical knowledge.
Bang.
So I got excited about this, but it still didn't make any sense to me. I think then Brian explained it. Basically, what?
The, the problem is that these technical people, these developers, they'll tell you like, I've made it so easy, I've made it so easy, but they overestimate us. They think that we know how GitHub works. They think we know how to fork a repository. We don't know this. Like this is foreign language to
Thank
us.
you.
Like you have to take us by the hand and literally tell me where to click. And then I can do this with no technical knowledge.
Yeah.
But that's usually where that's a disconnect there. Like it'll be fine. And this is where, we ask questions and we get answers and we'll figure it out. But that's often like if I'm looking at this as well, unsure
Yeah.
exactly what I'm looking at.
But
But
it's
I
good
love
news.
I love the idea because NFT creators generally they're or at the moment they're mostly artists and people who spend time, creating beautiful stuff. They're not necessarily technical,
Yep.
and that might have stopped them in the past from launching their own collection with pre-sale and UI on Icon. But isn't this the perfect segue into the upcoming live stream that you're going to be
Oh.
doing?
Oh, yes, yes. Look, I didn't. Oh, good reminder. So, yes, me, you as well. So me, Digital Dave, and Paul, creator from Global World, is we're doing a live stream, and we'll get some. We've got the banners. We should start promoting it, David.
We should.
Yeah, definitely.
We're kicking it off right now.
Yeah, boom. So live stream, and what Paul's actually gonna walk us through what happens like after an NFT is minted, how you can actually find it on the blockchain. Now, before anyone gets carried away, he's going to actually show where you go onto the tracker and using the NFT ID, you find where it is, and you kind of look at the code. Otherwise known as gibberish to me, and then also because we know that Icon uses the craft uses IPFS, he's going to show what component and how you can actually go and find the JPEG, the picture on IPFS. So it is a bit of a technical session, but technical session simplified. So if you're curious,
Simplified. Don't worry.
yeah,
No one worry. I'm going to simplify this all the way down to where do I click
yeah.
and how hard do I click. Um,
So,
because you've already been very technical now mentioning IPFS. What on earth is IPFS?
so isn't it look, I'm so across the Skynet on Psi blockchain storage. I never got involved, but it's basically, isn't it data, or I don't goddamn know what IPFS stands for.
I think it's the storage of the image belonging to the NFT.
Yeah,
So
but
when we're looking at an
no, no.
NFT on the blockchain, it's a bunch of code and gibberish, but it also has an address to an IPFS, which is an external storage. And
Yes.
that's actually where your 16-bit Fight Club, your Tamashi, your friend
Yeah.
NFT is actually stored.
Yeah. So it,
Yeah.
it's yes. So it's like a different data layered storage layer, not your AWS servers. Um, and Skynet, I can talk to Skynet because I know exactly how it works. It's basically Uber of the hard drive space with a shitload of redundancy built into it. So people can sell their hard drive space, and it's broken down into data chunks, so whatever data is on that hard drive that's being rented out cannot be hacked or deciphered or yeah. So and frankly, in my eyes, a far better implementation than IPFS, but slow to catch on. But anyway, this is great, and the we want, so it's more for the curious mind, like if you thought, oh, blockchain or this or that, but what actually happens, where does it go, and why is it
Yeah.
different to
Yeah.
just putting pictures on your hard drive? Yeah.
Yeah, because us as crypto self-proclaimed crypto noobs, what we've all done before is do transactions on the blockchain, and we've all clicked on the transaction link to see if it's actually gone through or what has happened. At some point, we've done that, and it takes you to a tracker or an explorer,
Mm.
which is basically a website that just has a live view of what's actually happening on the blockchain, and you can see you can put your wallet address in there and you can see the transactions that you've been doing. And these are 99% of the time assets. So we're talking tokens, we're talking coins going one way from one wallet address to the other. But what we're going to do with Paul is actually look at this aspect, but in the scope of NFTs. So what do NFTs look like on the blockchain?
Yep. And I'm
That's
just
really
here we go.
uh,
Found it. Here we go. This is
There
what's
we go.
happening.
It's called Dismantling NFTs. What goes on behind the JPEG? We see Fez smiling in between a couple of NFTs, and we see some lines of code that refer to that NFT. And there's an IPFS somewhere in the middle there. But most importantly, top right, a date, some time zones is happening.
Yep. So you know what? If you're listening, head on over to the Crypto Setups channel and give this a reminder. Show your interest. Show some support. Look, overall, since this is Ion Icon, to just give a bit of context, we've intentionally chosen to do this particular topic. And if you notice, there's no icon branding here because my channel now has a decent amount of subscribers, and we want to center it around NFT crowd. So anyone who just wants to explore, learn a bit more of that technical side may jump on the stream. But when on the stream, we're going to actually be showing craft and the icon tracker and the icon blockchain and comparing it to the NFT standard, the ERC 20 token standards for NFT 7221, whatever they are. But we will talk to that. I'll make Paul actually break it down how it's the same but on a different chain. So there's a bit of cross-pollination attempts here, and this is how we can grow the community. So any support we can get from the community would be fantastic in promoting it. So it's up to everyone, but these are some of the tools we can use to help grow our ecosystem.
Yeah, let's see if we can reach people from other ecosystems,
Yep.
and because they're interested in NFTs, and then we subliminally infuse it with icon craft and other positive
Yeah.
teal green messaging, and we get them in. Hey, I've got another one for our listeners. This is an in-between snippet. We've launched on Project Nebula, the space game, our very own Ion Icon Space Guild. And in the first Space Wars, we actually got voted second guild of all, meaning we have prizes in our vault and we're looking for guild members. Now, the only way to get yourself in with the Ion Icon Space Guild is by commenting a little rocket underneath the Twitter post that mentions this particular episode. So if you comment a rocket under the Twitter episode, you will be absorbed into the Ion Icon Space Guild. And hey, we might just have a stato electric generator for you in Project Nebula, or maybe even a common planet, or maybe even a spaceship. Who knows?
And David, they can't be in any other guilds, right? Or they have to be willing to abandon their old guild and join our guild. Yeah.
Not just abandon their guild, you have to abandon your social life.
And help us float in space.
All we do is float.
Yeah. Been floating around today.
So let's move on.
Yes.
That was a subliminal little Ion Icon Space Guild message. Comment a little rocket underneath the Twitter post, and we'll be in contact.
Yep. Okay. Next up, clause 4th. Oh, May the 4th. Yeah, of course. So they're 5 days away from their mint. Okay. Now,
Close.
Not on their whitelist. We'll organize another flash event on Discord, UTC. Oh God, these time zones, David. We must create something better to understand these time zones. But yes, clause. That's exciting. I'm going to keep moving. Unless David, you have anything to say?
It's going to be a busy week. So this is not. We're currently we're recording this on a Thursday. Most likely dropping this on a Friday. It's actually next week. On Monday, there's going to be the clause mint. That same week, all the way on Saturday, is going to be the public sale for Wonder Game. It's a big week for NFTs on Icon.
A lot.
You can still get whitelisted for clause. You pop up in their Discord, and there's ways to do it. And you know what? I feel like anyone can get whitelisted, because let's be honest, they're minting 10,000 T-Rexes. That's 10,000.
Yeah.
So, are they going to sell out? You tell me.
Time will tell. Time will tell. Okay, Studio Mirai. Now, what have we got? Oh, haven't they been teasing?
They have. They want 750 followers, and they're going to drop some fresh, smoking hot alpha.
God.
Now, an hour ago. Oh, look at that. They're 5 followers short. I was hoping that we could actually read up the live news as they dropped it, but they're 5 followers short. So this is Studio Mirai. They are the creators of Tamashi.
Yeah.
They have to keep the season analogy alive. They've basically wrapped up their season 1, where they minted 100 characters that also appear in this amazing big other universe story. There's books, there's chapters, there's a gripping story, there's countless storylines, and at the moment there's 100 OG characters. Now, as we move on, the story progresses, and we're working towards a new NFT drop. The amount is actually going to be 10,000,
Mm.
and the characters that are being dropped are in line with the story. They're called is it the machine? Machine? Machine?
Look, I went even when I said the Tamashis, I got it wrong because there's no plural. It's just Tamashi. So I'm not even willing to try that.
Okay, well, we'll cut that part out. And what's happening is slowly but surely we're getting more news on what this massive collection is going to look like. We've been promised to get like fresh updates when Studio Mirai hits 750 followers on Twitter. At the moment, they're sitting at 745.
Well,
So everybody go out there,
mm.
create an alternative Twitter account, follow these guys because I want to know.
And
We have a program to fill here.
look, and by the time they listen to this, though, David, they may have reached 750. Do not let that stop you. Go and get them to 800, and then we can ask for the super alpha because we know how much Ben loves to dish. So, yeah, let's get that. Keen to hear what this is about. Okay, let's keep moving. Next up, ooh. Now, I need to get them. So many people need to come on the show, David. I think we just need to do 1 week where every day of the week we interview someone and drop it and then go, done. Look.
We've got to tell the listeners, though, what we're looking at. We're looking at a
Oh,
tweet by NFT project Alter. And Alter is an NFT project that did they get CPS funding for their project?
I recall a thing. I don't know what happened.
I believe what they're doing, and this is my lack of knowledge on this, that is completely part of the fact that there's so much projects launching. Just rewind 1 year ago, we just celebrated the 1 year anniversary of Balanced. That was like the first one and only, big platform or project launching on Icon, besides people just staking and voting, I believe. And now we're 1 year onwards, and I can't even keep track of all the stuff that's happening. So there is so much progress here, and Alter's kind of like a dark horse here. I think it is an NFT project based around streetwear
Yep.
fashion,
Yep.
and what they're doing is combining physical goods with NFT assets.
It's like you literally read their tagline. Damn, good work. Good work. Good memory. So, yep, and they're doing quite a cool thing. They've got this Discord server running and battle of the servers. This is pretty cool. Heck, I better get on to Hello Chocobo to talk about 16-bit Fight Club. There's nothing.
How many Discord servers are you in, Fez?
You don't want to. Oh God, like so many. Where is it? I actually have it up here. Oh no, I don't. Yeah, I closed it because it kept beeping. So, yeah,
I'm in 25 servers, and one of them is called the Dave DAO, and you only get entry if your name is Dave, and there's a Dave token, and they sent it out to all the verified Daves, and the only way to get verified is if another Dave vouches for you in the Vouch for Dave channel in the Dave DAO Discord. This is a real thing, and I'm in there with Davey Darko from Void Cyber, who is working hard on his own NFT company and stuff. You should get him on the show. But that's one of
actually, David. First of all, I'm offended as another co-David that I'm not being, offered into this exclusive Discord. But he literally messaged me this morning around something else, and I actually said, "Hey, let's get you on the show next week." And what do you want to? What shall we talk about? So, we will get him. We will get him very soon. So,
brilliant.
schedules
Yeah, that's
line up.
exciting stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's not on Icon.
No, but it all, it all helps. So,
Absolutely.
he's a big iconist.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And he's a big brain, isn't he?
Yeah, totally knows his stuff. I go to him a lot for help around things, marketing related and things like that. So, top bloke.
Do you have a Polygon wallet? I'll send you some Dave token to make you feel better.
Okay, thank you. I actually do have one, and I do feel a lot better. So I appreciate you doing that.
You're welcome.
Us Daves just band together. Who
I
said?
never knew that it was actually Fez Dave.
Dave Fez. Fez is my middle name. See, I just use it. My first name is Dave. Yes.
Right.
And can you
Changes everything.
vouch for me now?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
Yes.
all I need. Go for it.
Okay. We keep saying we'll run through this quickly. Okay, this is the last one. This is it. Okay, I actually haven't read this article now, but I looked at it and I was like, I must come back to it because I love how they have put in a whole lot of different. They've talked about a whole lot of different things in the icon ecosystem. Have you read this, David?
I have not.
Yeah. Okay. So you can see, but look, it's a good overview if you want to know what Frame's about, and Arctic, which is a test net, Polkadot. Oh, did we cover that? No, we didn't. So, but let's quickly touch base on that and all these other promotions. Definitely check it out. Sorry, we haven't deep dived into this article, but the Iconists have been pumping out solid content consistently. They're great writers, so I encourage you to retweet and actually read their articles, which I haven't done, but I do read a fair bit of them. But
The Iconist is like a faster, better Ion icon, isn't it? Because they just bring the news on a daily
ouch,
basis.
ouch, ouch, David. Yes, they do. Like, oh my God, really? You are co-hosting right now and you're shitting on the show. No, no, look,
I'm just saying, they write, we talk, you talk.
yeah, yeah,
Iconographer talks, and people like their own thing. So there's people who are currently washing the dishes, cleaning the house, might be out for a walk, listening to us. They don't have time to read every
yeah,
day.
no.
They need a weekly hour,
Look,
which leads me to the time aspect of it all, doesn't it?
yes, yes. So look, that no, us just clouding as well. Dave knows that. So overall, though, they're actual journalists, right? They're professional journalists, and
Yeah.
so when they go do the research and then put out the content. And I actually enjoy, like, the other day I was talking to Rob and I was like, hey guys, you should do this article around did and my ID, and and let's really paint a clear picture on what uses a public chain and some of the other use cases. And within a moment, Rob sends me a link. You mean this? And it was published in February, and it was just that. And I was like, talk about pie in my face, but it made me realize that actually, this is what they're there for. This is why they got CPS funding, and this is the sort of stuff they've been writing about. So it's more of a matter, I think, what you said, David, because they publish so much, maybe we tune out and not realize. But the reason they're publishing so much is there's a lot going on, and they're trying to keep up with everything and keep everyone updated. Okay, the last part I think wanted to talk about. There was an article that dropped. The Arctic testnet launches now. I had this in my head the other day. This is a big deal because up until now, Frost is kind of that's right. So Frost was just its own chain, yeah. With think of it like its own chain with running that's meant to run connected to following substrate protocols using substrate palettes and etc. meant to run the way you'd run the ice or snow. Uh, Arctic is different because it is a chain that is actually connected to the Kasuma test net. So Kasuma is, obviously the next higher test net. That's really a real thing. But the chain under it's like the dot. The Kasuma, the Arctic is connected to that Kasuma's testnet, and talking to each other, and that. So it is the exciting next step. Like, this is a big deal. It's actually a huge deal. It's part of the roadmap milestone that has been hit, and we will start to see more communication come out, basically, to get off Frost. If you're building, get onto this test net, because this is the one you want to be on from now on. I'll stop there. Anything else to add, David?
They've just put out a tweet hinting at their own explorer or tracker or finder, as it's called. So you know how I previously mentioned, you can go on to these trackers or explorers that are mapping out the blockchain in real time, where you can see your transfers, you can see your wallets, other wallets, and see kind of what's happening on the blockchain. Now, Arctic testnet is a blockchain. It's a testnet blockchain. They've launched. They will have their own explorer. There it is. At least they've hinted at it. They've said, what will it look like? So that's all my latest news
Yeah.
on this. And it is a big deal because before with Frost, anyone can build an isolated blockchain. I say with a wink, anyone can do that.
Mm.
But what the team has done now is they've iterated, they've built the Arctic testnet, and they have plugged it in, so it is communicating with Rococo.
Ah,
That
Rococo,
is
yes.
the testnet to Kusama and Polkadot.
Bingo.
So all the way at the beginning of this episode, we talked about how parachains in the Polkadot ecosystem are communicating with each other. That on a testnet level is what Arctic testnet is now already doing with other testnet parachains or parachain testnets on Rococo, which is the testnet to Kusama and Polkadot. It's a lot of the words. It's a
Yeah.
lot of saying testnet and parachain, and it is hard to understand. But if you go to the icenetwork.io website, they do a good job in trying to explain what this ecosystem looks like. They've got blogs, they've got a learn section. So
Mm.
if you're still here, you're interested, and you actually have time left, go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, great, great. Okay, let's wrap it up, David. As always, not financial advice, just two guys, love the ecosystem, trying to bring you the latest and greatest news, but quite frankly, just sharing their thoughts on everything going on in Icon. And for some reason that we're very grateful, a lot of people tune in. So thank you once again. Not financial advice. Like, subscribe, share, do your thing. Don't forget David's talked about the competition, just surprise dropped a competition, and showing some support for the Crypto Setups live stream that's going to happen about what's behind the JPEG. Everyone, take care. Good night.
Good night.